Ravello to the outside. They're in the gate. And they're off. Honeymoon Suite and Hulk are both out very alertly. Hulk hard-ridden, trying to get to Honeymoon Suite in the opening furlong. Then it's College Boy. Carpe Bellum at the rail is a joint third. Then comes Lemon Drop Shot, fifth, and 7 lengths off the lead. Inside Tucker's Tribute, Ravello is next, and the distant trailer is Agapitos. They're a half mile from home, and it's Honeymoon Suite in front, leading the way by about a length to Hulk second. It's 3.5 more. Back to Carpe Bellum, racing on the inside of Lemon Drop Shot. Tucker's Tribute is hugging the rail in fifth with 7 to make up. It's a gap of 3 back to College Boy, Ravello, and Agapitos picking it up a bit from behind. A quarter of a mile to go, and Honeymoon Suite, the controlling speed, tries to shake away from Hulk. Lemon Drop Shot on the outside, moving up in third, followed by Carpe Bellum. There's an eighth of a mile to go, and Honeymoon Suite with a 3-length lead. Lemon Drop Shot finishing with interest, getting into second on the outside of Hulk. 16th pole, Honeymoon Suite still with a big lead. Moving into second, Lemon Drop Shot. The wire's coming, and Honeymoon Suite wins it. Honeymoon Suite a length and a half. Lemon Drop Shot was second. Then Carpe Bellum, Hulk, and Agapitos completes the super high five. Tropicana Girl and Rain Diva. They're off. Tropicana Girl and Bella Ranella. Here's Rain Diva in the red colors, vying for the early lead, too. Righteously moves up to take third in between rivals, and Flatter with Jewels is only 3 lengths off the lead, 4 in front of Sailing Along. It's Rain Diva to the half-mile pole, a length and a half in front of Tropicana Girl. Bella Ranella moves up willingly at the rail, in hand third. They're followed by Righteously fourth, 2.5 off the pace. At the rail, Flatter with Jewels asked to pick it up, now 6 off the leader, and 2 in front of Sailing Along, who inches up a bit. Rain Diva coming toward the quarter pole. In front by under a length to Tropicana Girl in second. At the rail, Ranella just waiting for room in third, followed by Righteously in fourth, and then Sailing Along top of the stretch. Bella Ranella will cut the corner as Rain Diva continues to lead with a furlong left to go, and not done yet. Rain Diva clinging to the lead. Bella Ranella having to steady while trying to get through. That hole did not materialize. Tropicana Girl in the meantime up to take the lead, and it's Tropicana Girl to win it. Tropicana Girl pulls off the upset. Tight photo. That is extremely close between Rain Diva and a very unlucky Bella Ranella. Then it was Flatter with Jewels and Sailing Along. They're in the gate. And they're off. So I'm told, Talk Less, Work More, hustled up and goes right to the front. So it's Talk Less, Work More, the heavy favorite, setting the tempo. So I'm told, stays close in second. It's 2 more back to Lil Richards, Bellow clearly third. Then No Longer a Hobby and Bottle of Smoke is at the back of the field. They're coming to the 6 furlong pole. It's Talk Less, Work More, leading a half length. So I'm told keeps the pressure on second. It's 3 more back to Lil Richards Bellow on the inside of No Longer a Hobby, and then Bottle of Smoke. Down the back stretch, Flavian Pratt and Talk Less, Work More. Opening it up now to lead by a little more than length. So I'm told second by 2. Lil Richards Bellow is down on the inside of the gray No Longer a Hobby. And now it's a real big gap to Bottle of Smoke, who has not been able to keep pace. Into the far turn. Talk Less, Work More. 3/4 of a length. Vasquez all over, so I'm told, trying to cut back into that margin. Lil Richards Bellow a threatening third. Another 4, No Longer a Hobby, has tailed off. They have a 1/4 mile to go. Talk Less, Work More, leading the way over, so I'm told. Lil Richards Bellows swings to the outside for the drive, top of the stretch, and Talk Less, Work More. Now shakes free of So I'm Told. It's a 2-length margin. Lil Richards Bellows shifting about. Now a clear-cut third. They're coming to the 16th pole, and Talk Less, Work More. It wasn't easy, but he puts them away now. Talk Less, Work More, clearly best. Scores by 4. So I'm Told did his best and was clearly second best. Lil Richards Bellows was third. Payment only at Yamava. They're in the gate. And they're off. California GG, spring spinning, came away alertly, but is now taken back. Roman Empress takes second. Trojan Way on the engine, too. So it's Trojan Way and California GG, and they are sprinting quickly into the first turn. Trojan Way intent on getting to the front and has done just that. Bonita Leona now moves into second down at the rail. There's room for Starship Sky, who scoots through in third, and a 3-wide spring spinning is only 2.5 or so off the lead. California GG is now second to last, and Roman Empress 6 off the lead. Onto the backstretch, and it's Trojan Way leading a half length. Bonita Leona in second, followed by Spring Spinning on the outside third. Starship Sky is at the rail, fourth, just 3 lengths off the duel on the front end. Then Roman Empress racing on the inside of California GG. They've moved past the half-mile pole, and it is Trojan Way leading the way by just a head, with some serious pressure coming from Bonita Leona. Those two have now pulled almost 4 lengths in front of Spring Spinning in third. Roman Empress is making nice headway, takes third along the inside, and is 3 or 4 off the new leader, Bonita Leona, who has quickly put 2 lengths on Trojan Way. They're a quarter of a mile from home. And it's Bonita Leona in front. Roman Empress with a sustained run, moving up on the outside of Trojan Way. 3/16 to go, and Bonita Leona with a 3-length lead. Roman Empress on the outside. Down at the rail, Trojan Way fights on, and they're followed by Starship Sky. They're a 16th out, and it's Bonita Leona. Bonita Leona will win it fairly easily by about 3.5 lengths. Roman Empress wins the battle for second over Trojan Way, then Starship Sky. They're in the gate. And they're off. Was a tardy beginning for Silent Heat, who was a little fidgety. Deservedly is going to the front. Famous Star comes away second, followed by Luther Pass, a close-up third. Then Warrior Road in fourth. Purified is 4 lengths off the lead. Cupid's Crusader is just in front of him. And then it's Silent Heat at the back of the field. It's Deservedly passing the half-mile pole, 3/4 of a length in front of Famous Star. Luther Pass, Whitecap, one from the outside. Warrior Road, widest of all. Cupid's Crusader, Purified, trying to slip through a narrow opening, one from the rail. He finds some room to do so and is now moving up within 3 of the pace. The distant trailer is Silent Heat, a quarter of a mile to run. Deservedly, Famous Star. 3 wide, Warrior Road, Purified behind them. 3/16 to run. Deservedly holding on to the lead by 2. Warrior Road on the outside. At the rail, Purified still has 3 lengths to make up with a 16th to go. He's starting to run on now. Deservedly 2-length lead. Purified into second, but Deservedly just cruising late. And it's Deservedly. Wins it by 2. Purified second best. Warrior Road. Then it was Famous Star and Cupid's Crusader. It's post time for the Irish O'Brien. And they're off. Feeling Graceful is very quick away from the gate. Leads by a half length. Alice Marble flashing good speed too. And then it's Taming the Tigress, a clear cut third. And Rose Maddox at the back, 4 lengths off Feeling Graceful, who leads past the 5/8 pole by a length and a half. The heavy favorite, Alice Marble, in second. Joined on the outside by Taming the Tigress, and the gray at the rail is Rose Maddox. 3 lengths covers the field heading into the far turn. Feeling Graceful made the lead pretty easily. Alice Marble within a half length now in second, and Taming the Tigress on the outside. Rose Maddox about a length and a half off the lead. Contentious group, and there's room at the rail for Rose Maddox, and she just got stopped cold after trying to get through it. That room disappeared with a quarter of a mile to go. 3 of them vying for the lead. Alice Marble in between, Taming the Tigress. Rose Maddox will switch to the outside. She's running on valiantly, and down at the rail, Feeling Graceful. They're a furlong from home. Alice Marble, Rose Maddox running a giant race moving into second. It's Alice Marble a length and a half past the 16th pole. Rose Maddox trying hard, but Alice Marble is just too sharp, and she beats Rose Maddox by a length. Third went to Taming the Tigress, Nick Alexander, and Progeny of Grayson, 1-2 in the Irish O'Brien. They're in the gate. And they're off. Very fast beginning for Soul of Midnight in the green, taking over at once. Down at the rail, Regulation Days flashing some early zip. Smuggler's Cove is in the mix early, now back to fourth as Glass Beach takes second. Another Strike is up and on the pace too. They're followed on the far outside by We Need Marketing, who races on the outside of Our Heart of Gold, approximately 4 lengths off the lead as the field heads into the far turn. Big Drinker has 5 lengths to make up. Rhythm on Stage is moving up between horses now, a joint third. Down at the rail, LeVron James is only about 7 or 8 lengths off the pace. He just went by tiring Another Strike. It's a gap before to Buck Owens, who is off a bet slowly. On the inside comes Chow Kuhn. Then it's Dan's Till 10, followed by Lucky Sam with a quarter of a mile to go in Smuggler's Cove. In the meantime, at the 8th pole, Soul of Midnight has a commanding 4-length lead, running on strongly. In second, Rhythm on Stage trying to get to Glass Beach. Glass Beach holding that spot at this stage, but it's lights out. Soul of Midnight and Abel Cedillo romping 8 lengths when the smoke clears. Second to Glass Beach, photo for third, a closing Buck Owens with Rhythm on Stage. And then it was Regulation Days completing the super high five. And they're off. Rose Harbor was off a little slowly. Ghostum broke inward, but does take the lead. Here's Peppermint Flirt moving right into second, and Eleuthero will sit right at the rail. Then Tecumseh Caroline fourth. Eleuthero having to steady just behind the leader, Ghostum, who's trying to slow it down. And in behind that comes Rose Harbor. Between rivals, American Conquest, with absolutely no early speed, is at the back. 7 furlongs out, Ghostum to catch. Leading the way by about a length and a half. Peppermint Flirt is in second. Eleuthero at the rail in third. 2.5 or so off the leader. Still a touch eager and in a little bit tight. Then comes Tecumseh Caroline in fourth. 3 lengths off the leader. Another length back to Rose Harbor, and American Conquest gets a little bit closer with 5.5 furlongs to run. It's Ghostum on the front end, leading the way by a length. Peppermint Flirt in second. Eleuthero at the rail will be biding her time in third. Just outside comes Tecumseh Caroline in a nice steady gallop fourth, and Rose Harbor behind this group, 3 off the lead, 4 clear of American Conquest. Not much change into the far turn. Ghostum Peppermint Flirt, 3/4 back in second. At the rail, Eleuthera third, and then comes Tecumseh Caroline. Rose Harbor is fifth, 4 lengths off the lead. 6 more to American Conquest, 5/16 of a mile to go. Ghostum a length. Now Eleuthera is trying to get out of there. In the meantime, Tecumseh Caroline has a clear shot. Far outside, Rose Harbor. Peppermint Flirt steadies while weakening. Top of the stretch, Ghostum. Eleuthera in tight between rivals. Tecumseh Caroline on the outside. Eleuthera trying to get through. She's got a touch of breathing room in the meantime. Rose Harbor on the far outside, turning into a very exciting conclusion. It's Tecumseh Caroline. Rose Harbor surging at her. Tecumseh Caroline or Rose Harbor. Here's the line. Photo finish tight. Tecumseh Caroline and Rose Harbor hit it right together. Eleuthera then Ghostum. And they're off. Phineas broke well. Bletchley Park is hard ridden for early speed and up to take the lead. Got Thunder on the outside. Showtime in between them as they move into the first turn. It's a compact field early on with Bletchley Park the leader. Has it by a half length to Showtime. Street Ruckus along the inside. And Got Thunder, Orange Sleeves in the center of the track, a 3-wide third. Phineas up and close to the pace today, only 2 lengths off the lead. Then comes Paroli, who will be widest of all, and another 2 back to Mobu. Onto the backstretch, and it is Showtime who takes the lead. Got Thunder moves into second. Bletchley Park at the rail, just about a length off the pace, holding his ground in third. Then Phineas and Paroli right together. Just behind them, Street Ruckus, only 3 lengths covers that entire group. Mobu a length behind them. Half mile to go. Showtime, Got Thunder, head and head for the lead. Bletchley Park coming back for more along the inside. That it's Paroli who's going to be caught 4 wide into the far turn, but very much in the thick of it. And Paroli now moves up on the outside as Got Thunder is in front. Got Thunder, Showtime, and Paroli moving up on the outside third. Phineas a clear-cut fourth. Bletchley Park dropped all the way back to last, passed by Street Ruckus and Mobu. They're a 1/4 mile from home. And here's Paroli looping up 3 wide on the outside of Got Thunder as the field turns for home. Showtime digging in down at the rail, but it's Paroli in the center of the track who gets the upper hand. Phineas only 2 lengths off the lead, finishing with interest. And then Street Ruckus a 16th to go. And it's Paroli a length and a half. Phineas moves into second. Paroli, Phineas, Paroli, Phineas, Paroli. That is 3 in a row for Paroli, who is on his game. Phineas fired hard. Behind them, it was between Showtime, Street Ruckus, and Got Thunder for the minor placings. Irish Patsy on St. Patrick's Day, the last one to load. And they're off. Smooth start. A quick beginning for Make It Snow, joined by Carson Jen. Tea Tree Bay along the inside. The pace is lively in the opening furlong. Tea Tree Bay hugs the rail. Carson Jen alongside. Carson Jen is in front. There's a little bit of room for window shopping down at the rail, who's about 3 lengths off the pace. Foolish caught 4 wide into the first turn as Make It Snow moves into second. Best year ever in the purple colors, 3 lengths off the lead. And it's another length back to Irish Patsy. They swing on to the backstretch, and it's Carson Jen and Joe Bravo showing the way, opening up 2. Make It Snow is in second. Window shopping inches up very nicely along the inside to take the second spot with less than 5/8 of a mile to travel. Tea Tree Bay, hard ridden in fourth, 4 lengths off the lead. 2 more to Foolish on the outside of Best Year Ever, and Irish Patsy is at the back of the field. Window shopping with a decisive move on the inside of Carson Jen. They pass the 3/8 pole, 1-2, and window shopping is absolutely breezing to the quarter pole. opening up at will. Carson Jen could do nothing about it. Then it's Make It Snow, clearly third, followed by Tea Tree Bay. It's all over. Window Shopping is going to turn this into an absolute romp. Has it by 7 lengths. On the outside, Make It Snow. At the rail, Carson Jen. The easiest ride of the day for Flavien Prat, gives him a triple. This is a monster victory for Window Shopping. Window Shopping comes back with a purpose. Wins by close to a dozen, maybe a little even more. Window Shopping, ultra impressive. Tea Tree Bay, Frankie Dettori kept to the task and got the place money as a result. Make It Snow third, then it was Carson Jen, followed by Foolish.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to March Madness, Santa style. 11 races today, very competitive racing, 5 maiden races as well, and of course, a plethora of wagering opportunities. 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 carryover. We've also got a 50-cent Middle Pick 4, the Golden Hour Pick 4 later on in today's card, and of course, the Coast to Coast Pick 5. Plenty of chances for upsets, just like in college basketball, and hopefully you've been watching. A lot of drama out on the basketball court, and a lot of drama here at the Great Race Place. But you know what? With our seminar guest, there's never any drama, but he's been here since bright and early before the sun rose this morning. His name, Toby Turrell. Toby, happy Saturday. Welcome to the seminar.
Hey, dittos, Tom, and our good buddy Felix Taverna. He put out a ESPN said in the brackets that 20 million starting and like 600 left after as far as the brackets go after just a simple round?
I think it's down to 0 now, believe it or not. Hard to believe. It shows you how difficult it is to predict college basketball. 20 million brackets were submitted to ESPN, as Toby said. Exactly a goose egg still remain live in terms of picking all the winners up to this point. But let's face it, it's easier to pick winners here at the racetrack, particularly with your guidance. And the odds are much better than 11 to 10, which is what you get in sports wagering. I talked about how you've been here since the sun rose this morning, Toby, and there were a lot of workers. Of course, today's weather conditions couldn't be more pristine. We are fast and currently good on the turf course. Yes, that's right. All races remain on the turf course today, and we kick things off with a good turf course. Who did you see work today, and maybe one or two that caught your eye, Toby?
Well, we had, I'm going to call him now the big horse work today, and his name is Practical Move. And, you know, when I say the big horse, no pun intended, this horse is gargantuan.
He's the Timmy Octine trained horse who won the San Felipe, and of course, a leading 3-year-old contender for both the Santa Anita Derby and the Kentucky Derby.
He, as far as I'm concerned, he's now the co-leading candidate for the Kentucky Derby with Pletcher's horse, Naturally Forte. What he looked like today just kind of left me without any doubts. I mean, I'm just hoping now that he holds exactly where he is right now. And honestly, I wouldn't be afraid of anybody. He is gargantuan, and he's stronger out of the race.
He worked 4 furlongs, and it sounds like he did it very impressively.
He was in an absolute gallop. When I saw 47-2 on the watch, I said, wow, here it is. You
were very surprised.
I thought maybe 48 change, but no, I mean, so yeah, I mean, Timmy is he's got to be, hopefully he just continues to sleep well.
He's walking on cloud 9, that's for sure, but it's a long way to the starting gate, both for the Santa Anita, which will be on Saturday, April 8th, and of course the Kentucky Derby the first Saturday in May. Now that begs the question, Toby, maybe who's second or third ranked out here in Southern California? Of course, the Bob Baffert / Timmy Octine runner, who was the rage in the future book, Arabian, was it Arabian Night, Arabian Lion?
Arabian Night is the bay, the undefeated horse. Arabian Lion is the chestnut.
Yes, and the $3.5 million purchase, news broke earlier this week that he will not be competing on the Kentucky Derby Trail. Now, to me, that might be good news. I know it's disappointing for the ownership group, including one of your colleagues, Gary Young, but nevertheless, sometimes missing the Derby Trail actually results in becoming a better handicap horse, and it looks like plans are to race him at some point after the Kentucky Derby.
Wasn't there a horse called Flightline that did that?
I've heard of him. It turned out okay for him, didn't it?
I think so.
Is there any second or third, maybe leading a 3-year-old here that, maybe is either beneath the radar or maybe can improve between now and the first Saturday in May?
I think as far as our race here in the Santa Anita Derby, I don't know where Fort Bragg is going, but he worked today in company with Murray, who's a dynamite workhorse, and I expect improvement out of him. So he would be the one I'd be intrigued with. I really love the way Joe's Rocket Ride ran for Richard Mandela. I'm waiting for him to work back. If he looks a certain way when he does come back and work, then we'll keep him on the radar.
Toby, we've been unfortunately hit with a lot of bad weather, uncharacteristically so, here in Southern California so far during the winter meet. Have you seen a change in trainer patterns, maybe just in general? Are trainers either accelerating or having to delay their workouts based upon the weather forecast?
Well, they haven't had any choice, Tom. Sadly, they haven't been able to do anything. Their hands are totally tied. And the track's been closed, thankfully, on non-race days for the most part. But when you get over 50 feet of snow, I mean, do you need to tell the world anything else?
Well, thankfully, there's no snow in the forecast today. As you can see behind us, that's a live shot of the San Gabriel Mountains, and you can see blue sky and plenty of sunshine. And as I mentioned, the main track fast and the turf course good. Let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Mirabati and get the early changes on today's very competitive 11-race card. When we return, we'll find out who Toby likes in all of those 11 races as well. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody, on a beautiful day here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, where the track is fast and the turf is rated as good. Rail on the turf at 10 feet today. Here are the early changes. No changes in race 1, start of the 50-cent, early pick 5. We have a blinker note in the second. In race 3, scratch number 3, Topper's Wager. Race 3, scratch number 3. There are no changes in the 4th. The 5th begins a middle pick 4. This is a wager offered today, not most days, but a middle pick 4 today on races 5 through 8, no changes. In the 6th, no high 5 with the scratch of number 1, Quality Cat. Race 6, scratch number 1. It's the start of the Rainbow 6. There's 116,000 in the jackpot carryover. In the 7th, scratch 4, Fast and Shiny. It's the China Doll Stakes. Start of the late pick 5 with no high 5 wagering. In the 8th, we have just a blinker note. 9th race, scratch number 4, Real Fire. In the 9th, take out the 4. In the 10th, we kick off the golden hour pick 4. No scratches or jockey changes. And in the 11th, there are 4 program scratches of 2, 4, 13, and 14. Also, scratch number 12. We're going to have a good time. Number 12, we're going to have a good time, scratched out of race 11. Those are the changes on today's card. Of course, it's a Saturday, so we offer the coast-to-coast pick 5, combining races from Gulfstream Park and Santa Anita Park. Player-friendly, 15% takeout, dollar minimum. It starts here in just over an hour from Gulfstream today with their 7th at 12:37 Pacific. Let's go back to the seminar with Tom Quigley. The special guest today is Toby Turrell.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Toby Turrell. He's one of the prominent morning clockers anywhere in North America. He's based right here in Southern California. If you want to find his work on a daily basis, so you're not at the track or at a favorite OTB, you can go to the website casetherace.com, casetherace.com, and you can pick up a sheet there for a small fee. As we like to say, it's the best $5 you can spend anywhere in terms of helping you become a better handicapper. All right, Toby, a lot of ground to cover, so let's kick it off here in race number 1, which of course begins the 50-cent early pick 5. We're on the turf course, 5.5 furlongs is the distance. The rails today are at 10 feet. This is for maiden special weight fillies and mares. Interestingly enough, I believe this is the first race where maidens that are age 3-year-olds are competing against their older counterparts. So this race is for 3, 4, and 5-year-old maidens. There are 4 4-year-olds in the race. 3, 7, 8, 9 are all 4-year-olds. The rest are 3-year-olds, and the morning line favorite in the current betting choice is number 6, Not Now, from the John Sadler barn, a second-time starter, currently 3-2 on the board. Talk to us about race 1.
Well, the number 3 filly in here, strikingly, she ran a very better-than-looked race in her first start. She got off slowly. She was shuffled around, and I was really amazed that she still had some forward punch down the lane. So key here is I'm expecting improvement in a big way, and at 6-1, Kent DeSormo is going to take over the mount here. I think there's some value here. The 5 horse on the screen, Heart of the Night. Whitey Michael McCarthy's filly hasn't been out since Del Mar, but getting Lasix here today has every right to improve a little bit. But I'm looking to the value on the 3-horse.
6-1 on the morning line and currently 9-2 on the tote board. Number 3, strikingly, one of the 4-year-olds I've mentioned in race number 1 is Toby Turrell's top pick. Let's turn the page, take a look at race number 2. Begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're traveling 1 mile on the main track for $20,000 claimers, non-winners of 3 races lifetime. We've got a field of 5. Number 4, Papali is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Kristen Mulhall has a few runners today that I think are live, including this one ridden by Frankie Dettori, but there is a lot of speed in the race, Toby. Give us your thoughts on race 2.
Yeah, I like the 2-horse Warren's Candyman in here, and ironically enough, ridden by the Candyman, Edward Maldonado. You can't make that up. This is a very hard-knocking gelding here. He really trained very well into the last race for a $20,000 claimer. I love that because the foundation's there. I think he'll be a very fit and tight horse here gelding today. And that usually is enough. That edge is usually enough to win a race like this. So Warren's Candyman, the 5-horse Setacento, red hot team here of Steve Knapp and Tiago Pereira. Hard to look past that team. They just did it again yesterday with Bonita Leona. And Steve Knapp is not shy about giving Tiago a lot of credit right on the camera here.
And Steve Knapp, if you were to compare statistics for this meet to Bob Baffert, you would see they're almost mirror images of each other in terms of number of starts and number of times they visited the winner's circle. Race number 3, we're back sprinting on the turf course, 5.5 furlongs once again. This is for Calbred, maiden special weights. 1 scratch. Scratch the 3 leaves us with a field of 8. The morning line favorite is drawn on the outside, number 9, Boss Sully from the Brian Corner Barn, 5-2 on John White's morning line. Boss Sully did run once so far in his career, and it was back on February 11th, sprinting 6 furlongs. Keeping in mind today's distance is 5.5 furlongs. He's going to wear saddlecloth number 8 in this replay we're about to watch. So he's going to break from the near the far outside, and he's also in the lime green jockey silk. So it'll be easy to pick up. Let's watch the replay for number 9, Boss Sully, back on February 11th.
And they're off. Vegas Burner and Valiant Sir, the first 2 out of the gate, but there's a scramble on for early supremacy. Calm Sea is up and on the pace too, and down at the rail, Azure Star now moves up to take 3rd. Down the back stretch, and it's Vegas Burner just in front. Calm Sea taken in hand as Azure Star comes through at the rail. Then Boss Sully and Valiant Sir 4th and 5th with less than a half mile to go. A gap of 4 back to Nuclear, who's 3 clear of Surf Affair. It'll do, and Precision Striker at the back of the field together. Rounding the far turn, Calm Sea on the outside, and Vegas Burner. They race together as one as they approach the quarter pole. Valiant Sir moves into 3rd clearly. Boss Sully in the lime colors on the move while 4 wide. Another 3 lengths back to Nuclear on the outside of Azure Star. They're at the top of the stretch. In the center, Valiant Sir is coming swiftly after Vegas Burner, and Valiant Sir takes charge inside the 8th pole. Opens up 2. Vegas Burner is clearly 2nd, followed by Boss Sully. Belated rally from Nuclear. It will be Valiant Sir, a clear-cut winner and a big day for Barrios and Mullins.
Toby, you don't need to be an experienced replay watcher to see the sort of trouble that Boss Sully had. Kind of off slow, rank in the far turn, swung wide, still had a little bit of punch left. A very, very good sneaky debut effort for him.
Well, yes, and you heard Frank say on the move, 4 wide at the top. After all that trouble to still be on the move, 4 wide at the top, that says it all. And now you see, the key is he's got a lot of speed that doesn't show on paper there. But he's come out of the race beautifully. The workout on March 12th, he was under a nice snuggie type hold, and that's a good sign for today, hopefully to win here. The other horse in the race on the rail, My Ransom, he ran a nice runner-up effort on the turf course here last time out. I don't believe it was a fluke. I think this horse likes the turf now. He's grown into himself a little bit, and I'm expecting or hoping that he completes the exacta.
And My Ransom last time out added blinkers, added Lasix as well. Perhaps that was part of the reason for his improvement. Draws the rail today, but further improvement definitely would make him a major contender. Race number 4 is for fillies and mares traveling 1 mile on the main track. It's an allowance optional claiming race. Non-winners of 1 other than. We've got a field of 5. Ute Your Honor, the number 4 horse here, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Which way you going in race 4, Toby?
Well, I'm going to go with hopefully the controlling speed, and that is number 4, Ute Your Honor. Vladimir Serin goes to your meets leading rider, J.J. Hernandez, who sticks with this filly. So I'm hoping it's that easy, wire to wire. Now, the number one horse, we talked about Steve Knapp. And I'll tell you what, they bought this mare privately after her first start.
Look how much money she's earned in her career, even though she only has 2 lifetime wins.
And she's graded stakes place now, and she's running as good now as she ever has. So a very terrific buy. I mean, what a horse to own. Wouldn't you love to own this mare and get to come out to Santa Anita on a Saturday, watch her run? So anyway, 4-1 in this race.
And Smooth Like Butter, as you said, is a Calbred who broke this condition back on July 29th at Del Mar. Now runs against Open Company for the same condition. Likes to close ground, a little bit camera shy, but nevertheless a beautiful mare to own with some residual value. Race number 5 begins the aforementioned 50-cent middle pick 4. Anytime Santa Anita offers an 11-race card, we do offer a 50-cent middle pick 4, which starts right here in race 5. 1 mile of the turf course is the distance for fillies and mares. It's a starter allowance race. The allowance condition is that these runners had to have started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less since January 1st, 2021. It's as simple as that. Number 6, Harper's Gallop, fresh off a victory from the Leonard Powell barn, is the 5-2 morning line favorite. Give us your thoughts on race 5, Toby.
Yeah, well, Harper's Gallop deserves to be the favorite. This hard-knocking win machine, 7-year-old. But I think the number 2 in here, Lady J, you mentioned the 1 mile distance. That's the key here. She is going to her optimum distance today, and she's taking on a softer field here than she has faced in the speed race down the hill. So I think she's ready today. Her trainer, Lee Baracchio, he had a gigantic day here last week, and hopefully those fumes carry over to a win here for number 2, Lady J, over Harper's Gallop.
And Lady J has 6 tries at this mile distance, 2 victories in 2 seconds. So as you mentioned, going from a sprint to a route, this distance should hit her right between the eyes. Race number 6 begins the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6, the jackpot single ticket carryover, now up to $116,000. That amount plus whatever is wagered today will be yours if you're the only winning ticket in today's 6-race sequence, and it's a good one. And we kick things off here, sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track for maiden special weight 3-year-olds. 1 scratch the rail. Quality Cat leaves us with a field of 6. Number 2, Dillinger, taking the blinkers off for trainer Bob Baffert, and career start number 2 is the 8-5 morning line favorite. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Toby, let's watch a workout for Dillinger. It's actually a team drill out of the gate on March 10th. And Dillinger in this workout that we're going to watch, courtesy of our friends at xptv.com, breaks from the outside.
Yes, well, the key here is, first and foremost, the horse that he is now in front of there is Murray.
You mentioned him at the beginning of the seminar.
And I'm beginning and mentioning him again in the middle of the seminar, because this is a terrific workhorse and a talented horse, too. He showed that talent as a 2-year-old down at Del Mar in a big, big way. And the fact that Dillinger was able to work head and head with this horse, the way he did, all the way around the 6 furlong work, just speaks volumes on every level. Number 1, the speed department, which is usually key here at a sprint 6 furlongs. He'll need that speed naturally to get off the rail. But look at this move on the turn where basically he is just running so strongly, and he's running at those Bob Baffert clips that other horses just don't really aren't able to do that often, going 46 and change, 111. Looking like this horse is working way better than most maidens you will see anywhere, I believe, in the country. And right here at the wire, he won that by a nose, didn't he?
He sure did. And Dillinger, in that career debut I mentioned, debuted during the summer, this past summer down at Del Mar. Take a look at that running line. Finished 3rd in a 10-horse field. Who did he lose to? None other than another Bob Baffert runner who has a lot of ability, having a meltdown. So certainly Dillinger looks tough, but we also can see that you like number 5, Beverly Vista. What do you see in this first-time starter?
Well, the first thing you can see is he is by Arrogate, and what a day for Arrogate last Saturday. My uncle's horse.
Fun to dream.
Arrogate, Sacred Oath at Oaklawn opened up all the eyes. In fact, the owners of the winner in that race were quick to mention how happy they were they didn't run against Sacred Oath back there at Oaklawn. But nonetheless, Beverly Vista has talent in his own right. I'm not sure that it needs to be at 6 furlongs, but the talent is here. And I would not be surprised with a big race from him either.
We lost Arrogate way too soon, but certainly he was brilliant as a racehorse, and that precocity is certainly translating into him being a very successful sire as well. Race number 7 is our feature race on the card, and also begins the 50-cent late pick 5. It's the China Doll Stakes for 3-year-old fillies traveling 1 mile on the turf course. One scratch. Scratch the 4, Fast and Shiny, leaves us with a field of 6. The comeback horse, who we last saw in the Breeders' Cup, Comanche Country on the bottom, number 7, is the 8-5 morning line favorite. One of 2 training here by trainer Phil D'Amato. Give us your thoughts on race 7, Toby.
Well, the 6 filly Princess Bettina, just love to read my trouble notes right off of the formulator, which by far to me is just one of the best inventions ever in horse racing for DRF. And this horse broke slowly and checked and was rank and went 6 wide, and then still managed to find her best stride late. Now, those are like 5 beautiful trip notes all wrapped up in one. Frankie Dettori in the saddle on the turf, and things kind of happen when that happens. Hopefully that happens 5-1 in a 5-1 manner here today on number 6, Princess Bettina. Number 7, Comanche Country. Well, the Connections had very high hopes for her. Marching her into stakes company, in fact, all the way to the Keeneland there for the Breeders' Cup. Rispoli sticking with this filly. Safe to say she might be the class of the race. So 6-7 in our feature race.
Toby, a question for you. I talked about Phil D'Amato had 2 runners in here, and word has it that Comanche Country has been working in company with Paris Secret on the training track. Now, those workouts are always difficult, at least for me, to translate now that we're running today's race on the turf course. But what are your thoughts of Paris Secret, if in fact you've seen her work?
Yeah, she was in company. In fact, that works on XBTV. You can watch that if you'd like. And this filly is a tall, kind of a thicker, heavier made filly, the one horse. I think she wants to run further. They were basically head and head, but they were running at a harness race tempo. So you don't read a lot into it, but just physically speaking, it looks to me like the one filly will want more distance.
And one more question for you in race 7, Toby. Number 3, the Wild Grazer, has a good improving Beyer speed figure pattern, adding blinkers now for trainer Jeff Mullins, owned by the Red Barons barn, who's been so prolific bringing these imports into Southern California. Have you seen her work maybe in blinkers since that last effort?
Yeah, actually, I don't think blinkers, tailpipes, anything you put on this horse would do anything. She is a crummy workhorse on the dirt, and that's the key, you know. When they're working on the dirt, running on the turf, you want to kind of check the workouts a little bit at the door there. It certainly is the case with this filly, because I'll tell you what, I threw her out with such confidence last time, and she darn near won the race. So, in fact, she was coming AG Bullet. I forgot to mention earlier on the company line for a horse, but we'll let that go. But anyway, bottom line is, don't look at the workouts on this filly and think it's going to translate to her turf effort today.
It's live TV, Toby. Don't worry. You can't remember everything you want to say. Race number 8, we're going 1 mile on the main track. Also, race 8 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. This race is for maiden claiming 3-year-olds in for a $30,000 tag. Good field of 9. Number 5, Chicken Finger Day from the Doug O'Neill barn, ridden by the Candyman, Edwin Maldonado. 2-1 morning line favorite. Talk to us about race 8.
Yeah, I think Chicken Finger Friday wants this distance. I'm not sure that any of the other horses do. And I'm hoping it's really that easy, because getting this mile will be the winner. There's no question. And I think Chicken Fingers legged up for this, already got the route experience, has a very nice gate drill for this level on March 5th in a 3-way team drill. He was very competitive. So he's got the pace in him now. He's got no excuses today for Chicken Finger. The other Doug O'Neill, Trusty Rusty, lands J.J. Hernandez, your meet's leading rider, and he's your second choice, but I'm going with the 5.
Toby, I'm always nervous whenever I see a KG barn like the trainer of number 8, Mongolian Rocket, enter a first-time starter in for a claiming tag going 2 turns. Have you happened to, with the Bug Boy on board, have you happened to see any of the morning works for Mongolian Rocket, and thumbs up or thumbs down for him?
Yeah, thumbs down for me today. He just hasn't turned the corner yet. But this trainer is very, very patient. He will let them build foundation, kind of run themselves into shape a lot of times. So, yeah, I'm going to be taking a wait and see here.
Let's take a look at race number 9. Fillies and Mares sprinting 5.5 furlongs on the turf course. It's a starter optional claiming race. Scratch the 4. Real Fire. That means 8 will compete. Number 8, An Agent Mistake, is the 7-2 lukewarm morning line favorite. Agent Mistake we haven't seen since last summer at Del Mar. I should say last spring. Let me rephrase that. Last spring at Churchill Downs, now dropping down. Significant drop down in class for the daughter of Klimt, who's owned by Mr. Dr. Redham. I'm going to try and spit out all the words as fast as I can, trying to give you as much time as I can. But nevertheless, An Agent Mistake coming off that long layoff. Have you seen her work, and what do you think coming into this race?
Yeah, actually, her workouts are why I'm going to go to this filly here. She is training, I believe, with purpose, and she's doing everything right. Mario's been on her in the morning a few times. She's a good, strong-bodied filly. In fact, that's one of the things I really like about her being outside. Is she ought to be able to make her trip. She's got enough pace in her to do anything Mario wants. And I think she's going to run very well off this freshening. Awesome Taylor, interestingly enough, is a trainer change. Very rare you see a horse go from Pete Miller to Lee Baracchio. But I'll tell you what, Lee Barato, good buddy of mine, by the way, he's on a mission. And he's got this horse training great. Big, giant hold, plenty of run since he's taken over, and he's a big, big price at 8-1.
You mentioned Toby Deere, a formulator, and I also keep copious notes in there to show you how crazy I am in terms of being a horse player that eats, sleeps, and breathes horse racing. For Awesome Taylor, before her November 26th race down at Del Mar, you actually had a super work for her that day. Something must have gone amiss because she basically took a 2.5-month break and came back. But it sounds like now with the blinkers on and those 2 works since that last race, even with the trainer change, you think she might be cycling back to a good effort.
Yes, I do. And, it's interesting. I read my notes as you were speaking there, and she was flat. She was flat. I've got it with capital letters. I couldn't understand that effort, but that freshening now, good comeback race under the belt, and really full of herself here in the morning. I think she might make today count.
Awesome Taylor, 8-1 on the morning line, ridden by the always bettable jockey Kyle Frey. Certainly you'll get your money's worth on Awesome Taylor at 8-1. Race number 10 begins a $1 golden hour pick 4. We're sprinting 6.5 furlongs, I should say, on the main track. It's a race for maiden special weight 3-year-old fillies. This field looks like it's got a ton of ability, even though there's a number of first-time starters. It could be a key race going forward. The morning line favorite, the second-time starter going turf to dirt, is number 7, Ruby Nell, 8-5 on the morning line. But Bob Baffert trains 2 runners in here for Juddmonte Farm. One of them is Enclosure from the rail, who's 5-2 on the morning line. Let's take a workout for Enclosure back on March 5th. This was a 5-furlong work. Enclosure will be on the outside. Talk to us about why you wanted to show this work for Enclosure, Toby.
Yes, well, we talked about Arrogate a few minutes ago, and here we go again with another very talented Arrogate filly. Look at her pull away with effortless strides, and the rider will have to rein her in to wait on the mate. Now, I didn't think she would have this kind of speed, at least based on what I saw coming into the work. Her last workout was 53 flat. And then I'm watching this going, is this what's going on here?
You weren't sure it was the same filly.
I'm going, and there is another dark gray that looks like her, but this is her. Look at this. The rider just taps her here, and she's going to take off. Now, the key for me on why I believe she is something special is what she does right here. I mean, she is just not even in gear here. And this is a situation where I believe the watch really matters, because when I looked down and saw 58-3, she's a little slow, a little green, changing leads, going 58-3. Now, through the binoculars live, the flesh and the color and the tone of this filly, it was all there. So look at the big long stride on her. Hopefully she'll handle the sprint. That's my only question as far as today goes. But the talent is here in a big way. Number 7, Ruby Nell. She is another talented filly, and no secrets here. Over $1 million purchase. Got stone cold left at the gate on turf. Had every right to just check out of the race, and still came flying at the end. Here we go with AG Bullet. That horse came back and won a stake race for Georgie Papavidromo. So the race is already ultra productive. She's got talent. And the other Baffert, Pleasant, I saw in our stable notes that Baffert thinks the one horse wants the routed ground and the 5 has a ton of speed. I can't argue with anything about that statement, so let's just go ahead and throw the 5's name on the screen here anyway. as a potential speed danger play. But I'm looking forward to the debut here of number 1 in Closure.
Toby, earlier in the summer, you talked about horses maybe improving from dirt to turf or vice versa. So that's the question for number 6, 3 Strands. The other runner in the race, trained by Richard Mandela, adding Lasix, has never been one turn on the main track. All 3 career efforts up to this point, this daughter of Empire Maker, have been 2 turns on the turf course, but she is slowly improving. I've seen 3 Strands work in the morning at all.
Yeah, she's still got improving to do. She has been outworked a few times recently, and she just hasn't had the finish that I want to see. So I'm just going to wait on her as well.
And what about Magazine, 15-1 on the morning line? Again, I'm only asking you these questions because these are such lightly raced, well-bred daughters of prolific sires. Have you seen Magazine work at all in the morning since that debut down at Del Mar?
Yeah, and the interesting thing here is Carla Gaines taking over the training here and keeping the horse locally. I think there is something here. I don't think it'll be today against these types. But there is some ability here. I've got a big-time file note on this filly from a couple of works early on in the pattern. And with that said, I don't think she can do it today, but we'll keep our eye on her for tomorrow.
We close out the Marathon 11 race card at 5:31 p.m. Pacific time, sprinting down the hillside turf course. This is an allowance race for Calbreds, non-winners of one other than. Also, race 11 begins the $5 Golden Hour Daily Double, linking our last race with the last race at Golden Gate. There are 5 scratches in race 11. 4 of them are program scratches. The program scratches are 2, 4, 13, and 14, and the new scratch is number 12. We're going to have a good time. So the runners declared out of race 11 are 2, 4, 12, 13, and 14. The morning line favorite, number 3, Leah's Candy from the Mark Glatbarn, has never been on the turf course, much less down the hill. 5-2, and Brad Freese, play of the day. I should say Mike Hammersley from the Daily Racing Form. This is a great way to close out a really good card, Toby.
Yes, indeed, and a great race to take a shot, I believe, for some value, and that's what we're going to do with number 9, Oh Babe. For John Sadler. You know the old adage about horses that love to go a mile are really loving that downhill distance even more. Well, hopefully that applies here on the number 9 horse. And by the way, I know you keep all the stats and the numbers as well as anybody out here. I think Frankie Dettori's got a pretty good percentage down the hill, I would say.
He's an international rock star. I've referred to him many times. But what about the enthusiasm he's displaying? He's not obviously a young stud, so to speak, but he is so energetic. I love his energy. I love his interaction with the owners, trainers, horse players. He walks by where I stand in the paddock. I'm hanging out with my buddies. He says, "Hey, what's up, guys?" I mean, he is just a breath of fresh air.
He's not camera shy, and I think Millie said to him one day, from one athlete to another, maybe talking about, well, it was a Super Bowl one time. I don't know what, the 5K run, whatever it was.
Millie dominates that race.
Right.
She wins every year.
She's playing the cards close to the vest there. But with that said, this colt last time out, he has a sneaky sharp race. He was on the outside. He made it over to the rail. I just don't think he was in the right position. He's trained well since the race. We got some value here anyway. The 11 horse Atomic Drop for Phil D'Amato. He will be my second choice. And it's a great way to end off this day.
One more question for you in race 11, Toby. That would be number 6, Minister Shane. I'm not a workout analyst like you are, but I'll tell you what, coming into Minister Shane's comeback race, I love the way that he was working back on February 9th over the training track. Unfortunately, he didn't duplicate that performance in the afternoon. Now, Carla Gaines takes the blinkers off. Joe Bravo elects to ride back, and there are 2 works on the training track since then. Is Minister Shane continuing that good workout pattern?
He still looks solid, but again, I go to my trusty formulator hole cards, as I like to call them, and I am waiting for this horse to actually run on the dirt and maybe cut back in distance. And when that happens, I'll be on board.
Those training track drills might indicate that, in fact, he does like the main track. We'll see if that happens, but it won't be today. I want to thank you so much, Toby, for your time and insight today. You do such a great job. You're a great ambassador for the sport. Keep up the great work. Have much success at the windows, and thanks again for your time.
You bet, Tom.
Thanks to all of you for watching as well. Keep in mind, we've got the Coast to Coast Pick 5 wager happening in about 39 minutes or so. As you can see on the graphic right now, the Coast to Coast Pick 5 wager combines races from both Sanity and Gulfstream Park. The first leg today is Gulfstream Park Race 7, which goes off at 12:37 p.m. Pacific time. If 11 races wasn't enough for you today, we've got another 11 races for you tomorrow. 12:30 p.m. Pacific time is first time post. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy the beautiful day here at the Great Race Place.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park. The track is fast, the turf is good. Rail on the turf at 10 feet. Here are the changes. No changes in the first, start of the early pick 5. Just a blinker note in race 2, start of the early pick 4. Race 3, scratch number 3, Topper's Wager. In the 4th, no changes. In the 5th, we have a middle pick 4 today. Middle pick 4, great wagering opportunity because we don't have it often. And therefore, it's a little under the radar. Middle pick 4, starting with race 5. 6th race, scratch 1, Quality Cat, no high 5 wagering, 116,000 in the Rainbow 6 carryover. In the 7th, the China Doll, scratch 4, Fast and Shiny. Late pick 5 begins, no high 5 wagering. 8th race, beginning of the late pick 4, just a blinker note. 9th race, scratch number 4, Real Fire. Race 9, scratch number 4. In the 10th, Golden Hour, late pick 4 begins. Just a blinker note. In the 11th, program scratches of 2, 4, 13, and 14. They're already scratched out of your program. An additional scratch of the 12. We're going to have a good time. Golden Hour double starts with our 11th. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. We're 25 minutes away and about 32 minutes away from the start of the Coast to Coast Pick 5. The Coast to Coast Pick 5 offers the opportunity to play at a player-friendly 15% takeout, combining races from Santa Anita Park and Gulfstream Park. It starts today with Gulfstream 7th at 12:37 p.m. Pacific. The $18,000 Pick'em contest that you see on your screen right now is available every Saturday and Sunday. It's an online contest mixing popular props, including horse racing and sports. And with March Madness upon us, many of the popular college basketball props are involved. $500 given away to the top winner each day. Go to santanita.com and learn about the Pick'em contest. $18,000 in prize money, and it's free to play.